Yeah, we had no idea that we were going to have so much fodder with like the Capitol thing and everybody going nuts when we put this together. But holy shit. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, or the fact that it's a Republican thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure Democrats believe in it too, but like most of the stuff I read, it was like it's anti-democrat. Yeah, I actually found a pretty good, like, just kind of a sum up of it right here. QAnon is a baseless internet conspiracy theory whose followers believe that a cabal of Satan worshipping Democrats, Hollywood celebrities, and billionaires run the world while engaging in pedophilia, human trafficking, and the harvesting of a supposedly life extending chemical from the blood of abused children. QAnon followers believe that Donald Trump is waging a secret battle against this cabal and its deep state collaborators to expose the malefactors and send them to Guantanamo Bay.
Okay. I'm on board.
Like, of all places, Guantanamo Bay. That's where you're going. That's where we treat. That's where we like burn terrorists with cigarettes and take pictures of them naked.
Didn't they shut that down? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, even though there's pictures and everything else.
I'll see you. All right.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, the country music did kill the aliens in that documentary Mars Attacks.
Oh.
Yeah. I forgot the singer's name, but he's an actual like country artist. He like does yodeling and shit. Yeah, if you're into that old style country, like, which is probably much the only country that I'll listen to, like new age country, it's got to be like underground, like outlaw country, talking about drugs and murder. But otherwise, yeah, I can't do country.
Yeah. Agreed. I guess that's.
Yeah. So I found this too. Man, I just got this orange hat. I don't think I have any red hats.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I found this as well. It says there are many, many threads of QAnon narrative, all as far-fetched and evidence-free as the rest, including subplots that focus on John F. Kennedy Jr. being alive. He isn't. The Rothschild family controlling all the banks. They don't. And children being sold through the website of the furniture retailer Wayfair. They aren't. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, George Soros, Bill Gates, Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, Chrissy Teigen, and Pope Francis are just some of the people who QAnon followers have cast as villains in their alternate reality. Yeah. Hi.
Why not?
Weird. I could hear you.
I hear you.
Oh,
Man, you're
man.
being censored. Got us.
Okay.
How was that? There we go.
Guantanamo.
There we
I'll
go.
see
That's
y'all all
okay.
at Guantanamo.
Of course. That's yeah, you got to. Anyway, so back to the things first. So QAnon, just so you guys get a little history about this, because it seems like. So QAnon's actually the official QAnon thing is actually fairly recent in the biggest terms. It's probably only 3 years old as far as an official movement. But it got
actually, I was just reading here. It started with Pizzagate in 2016.
Well, yeah, Pizzagate was what wasn't officially QAnon though. That's basically was the impetus that created QAnon.
Okay, yeah. I just read right here. October 28th, 2017, Q emerged from the primordial swamp of the internet on the message board 4chan with a post in which he confidently asserted that Hillary Clinton's extradition was already in motion and her arrest imminent. In subsequent posts, there have been more than 4,000 so far. Q established this legend as a government insider with top security clearance who knew the truth about the secret struggle of power between Trump and the deep state.
Here's some problems with a lot of that as far as because I did once again doing the research. As most people, they go, we need to do your research. Well, fuck you. I did the research, and fucking QAnon is crazy.
You did the research, and you're wrong.
So, see, Pizzagate all stemmed from a thing called FBI Anon originally, who basically, yeah, that's what they called it. Basically, when they were trying to track down the emails, as people like clamor as far as for Hillary Clinton, because, and then so some hacker got a hold of her emails, and the emails, there wasn't anything specific, special about it. Well, somebody saw it, was bored. They went, well, we're not going to get anything out of these emails, so let's spice it up some. And they didn't change some of that stuff. It's just more creating emphasis here, like it's just enough. And then that all snowballed into being that underneath this pizza parlor was a secret room where people bought and sold kids in Washington, D.C. Here's the thing. We have friends that live in D.C. who have been to that pizza parlor.
Yeah. They don't even mention the name in some of the articles anymore because apparently, like, they got harassed and, like, it got really fucked up. Campaign manager John Podesta were actually a secret code for a child trafficking ring. The theory touched off serious harassment of the restaurant and its employees, culminating in a December 2016 shooting by a man who traveled to the restaurant, believing there were children there in need of rescue. So somebody just traveled there and like went in there and shot the place up, trying to save children.
He traveled multiple states.
Give me back my family.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So some wannabe Liam Neeson traveled from I think Georgia, and drove up to D.C. with his pickup truck and his gun rack of random guns to go try to free a bunch of kids that aren't there. And if I remember correctly, is that pizza parlor, I mean, even city plans, everything, doesn't even have a basement. So he walked in ready to shoot up, and they're going, well, we don't have kids. What do you mean? Yes, you do have kids. Bang, 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 bang. Get arrested. Still no kids.
Yeah. Basically, QAnon gets its it gets a lot of its theories from older anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. The idea of the all-power world-ruling cabal comes straight out of the protocols of the Elders of Zion, a fake document purporting to expose a Jewish plot to control the world that was used throughout the 20th century to justify anti-Semitism. Another QAnon canard, the idea that members of the cabal extract the chemical adrenochrome from the blood of the children victims and ingest it to extend their lives, is a modern remix of the age-old anti-Semitic blood libel. Well,
the weird thing about adrenochrome is that comes from a fucking movie.
Yeah, it comes from Fear and Loathing.
Yeah, it's not real. They made like Hunter S. Thompson made up the name of the drug because he couldn't remember the drug he took. He goes, I don't know, I took some crazy drug. It's adrenochrome, and that's just where it went
Yeah.
wrong. And literally, that's how it worked.
I mean, but there's been like a lot of villains in history where they have been known to like drink blood from younger children. There's always been that belief that if you do that, it enhances your youth or whatever. It makes you younger. It makes you live longer. That's been around for a long ass time.
I was just reading that.
Would be,
that is true.
there's that queen.
It's the blood libel is an accusation that Jewish people use the blood of Christians in religious rituals, especially in the preparation of Passover bread. That was perpetuated throughout the Middle Ages and sporadically until the early 20th century.
Well, the Countess de Bathory, who is from like the 13th century, I believe, arguably probably the most prolific serial killer of all time, who would regularly bathe in virgin blood to keep herself young, and because she ruled over this weird fiefdom, she did it for like decades. And she would every fortnight she would fill her tub up with virgin blood and soak in it to keep young.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know how many people she's killed because that's
so many of them. And like I guess what it's still happening with some of these royals. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. You know, there's some crazy shit I'm sure going on with them.
Oh yeah, I mean, like the government, like I think that's like kind of like the way they play, and I'm sure if I was in the government, I'd totally do stupid shit like to like be kind of seen by somebody to fuck with people because you're a rich person who everybody's staring at anyway. Why not fuck with them? Because like what is it, Camp David? They've got the giant owl statue and they all wear robes and do the weird rituals and shit. They're just cosplaying.
Yeah.
Bohemian Grove.
Oh, Bohemian Grove. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, and it was fucking what's his face that got on a rowboat and went up the river to go find him. Fucking
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Alex Jones. Yeah. Yeah, I was telling you that Jeff actually sees Alex Jones fairly often.
I do. He because I oh my god. Well, first off, he's a lying piece of shit. He's admitted to it in court. He's already stated multiple times on court to say that he is just an actor. Everything he says is not real. Because he was trying, because he was getting sued. Like Sandy Hook people were suing the fuck out of him, and so he had to go. I have to come clean, and so I trust him about this far for anything like that. So, but yeah, he drives by almost every weekend. I'm sure tomorrow. Although he's like disavowed the QAnon now, supposedly, but wouldn't surprise me here in Austin that he won't try to do drives up and down Congress is where I work at. It's a straight shot to the Capitol from where I work, just shouting whatever he's going to be shouting because he does it
towards the beginning of around the beginning of his like reign or whatever. He was kind of like hinting at all that stuff. That's what he did with the Bohemian Grove. He's like, look, these are a bunch of child murderers and, who knows what they do with kids and shit like that. He was kind of like touching on this subject that the QAnon is kind of doing here.
Yeah, because
he took it for a while and it kind of died out once he got all involved in, I guess, the mainstream politics or whatever. He kind of went, whatever, he lost his shit, and
he never had a shit.
So it's been before Pizzagate. It's been an issue, with these elitists doing crazy shit at parties or having, cults or whatever.
I'm not doubting that there is an extent of which some stuff is happening. However, at least with QAnon, they were targeting very specific people who spoke out against Donald Trump and then throwing them into this. Well, yes, because everybody goes, there's this elite thing. Well,
Tom Hanks talk shit about Donald Trump. Well, obviously Tom Hanks is part of this because all these people are against Trump.
He's on the flight list.
So obviously Tom Hanks and Oprah Winfrey and so on, and George Soros and all these people who are talking shit about Donald Trump are obviously all in on it.
Yeah, I just read something that's, oh my God, this is great. So we just talked about October 28th, 2017, Q emerged on 4chan, you know, because everything on 4chan is extremely reputable.
Yes.
Yeah, you can believe everything you see on there, and there's nothing illegal going on the website whatsoever. No child porn or anything fucking stupid.
No, that's true. That doesn't happen anymore. They moved it over to 8chan. That's why they have 8chan for all that.
Yeah, but so through posting anonymously, Q used a trip code that allows followers to distinguish his posts from those of other anonymous users known as Anons. Q switched from posting on 4chan to posting on 8chan in November 2017, went silent for several months after 8chan shut down in August 2019, and eventually reemerged on a new website established by 8chan's owner, 8kun. Q's posts are cryptic and elliptical. They often consist of a long string of leading questions designed to guide readers towards discovering the truth for themselves through research. As with Clinton's supposed extradition, Q has consistently made predictions that failed to come to pass, but true believers tend to simply adapt their narratives to account for inconsistencies. For close followers of QAnon, the posts or drops contain crumbs of intelligence that they bake into proofs. For bakers, QAnon is both a fun hobby and a deadly serious calling. It's a kind of participatory internet scavenger hunt with incredibly high stakes and ready-made community of fellow adherents. So this guy just typed random shit onto 8chan, and then people go, okay, well, so he put this word, he said the word hello, and that has an H in it, just like Hillary. So he must be talking about Hillary. You know, it's just like shit like that. Like, he lets them make up their own beliefs, and then one person types their beliefs out, and everyone else goes, yeah.
So the stuff I've been reading about is fact is like Q, the whole Q phenomenon is actually the Q phenomenon comes to the fact is it's all baked in by an actual consortium who's basically they're designed to drive a narrative, and for them at the time was to put somebody in power that they could control or basically follow the same interests, i.e., a Mr. Our now soon to be ex-president, and like people like Bannon and like Cambridge Analytica and all these other stuff are the ones that came together to kind of help create and craft this narrative, which is like this huge ass like psychological operation to do all this sort of stuff, because it's really not. All it is just putting just enough out there for people to like let their minds run wild, and then tagging it in with things that our people want to like. They go, well, you know, things like yes, the elites have been causing shit forever. Of course, we want them against them. Oh shit, child trafficking. We hate child trafficking. Great. Like, somebody's talking about it and doing stuff. It's basically just enough to let this stuff crumbs and stuff happening in it, and then they're like interlacing all this other stuff into it. So once you feel outrage and things like that, you feel outraged? Well, come over here. We're gonna be outraged together over here. And oh yeah, our name, we're the Proud Boys. I know it's kind of a weird name, but we're against child trafficking. So just sign our thing here. You're a part of it. You're good to go. Yeah. And that's just how it starts.
Yeah. It says right here, I'm on The Guardian right now, that website.
Yeah.
And it says, experts in conspiracy theories point out that belief in QAnon is far from common. While at one point, 80% of Americans believed a conspiracy theory about the Kennedy assassination, a poll by Pew Research in March found that 76% of Americans had never heard of QAnon, and just 3% knew a lot about it. The largest Facebook groups dedicated to QAnon approximately had 200,000 members in them before Facebook banned them in mid-August. When Twitter took similar actions against QAnon, accounts in July, and limited features for approximately 150,000 accounts in June. A Q drop that contained a link to a year-old Guardian article resulted in approximately 150,000 page views over the next 24 hours. So Q helped out the Guardian. That was nice of him. Let's see. In general, QAnon appears to be most popular among older Republicans and evangelical Christians. There are subcultures within QAnon for people who approach studying the Q drops in a manner similar to Bible study. Other followers appear to have come to QAnon from New Age spiritual movements, from more traditional conspiracy theory communities, or from the far right. Since adulation of Trump is a prerequisite, it is almost exclusively a conservative movement through the hashtag Save the Children campaign is helping it make inroads among non-Trump supporters. So, yeah, like you were saying, you know, you just put something out there that everybody can agree with, like fuck pedos, and then like people who don't even believe in these conspiracy theories are going, yeah.
And then you just make sure you just it's a real easy go. Well, if you also believe to protect the children, hashtag protect the children, which will link you to certain websites. And stuff like that, which will eventually go. And it's all stage. It's like Scientology. It's all stages. It's like initially going, oh, yeah, cool, it's really crazy. And stage 4, it's kind of crazier. Stage 10, what our God is from planet Xenu. Well, I guess I'm on board now because by then you've been talking about and drinking, just having that nice, lovely Kool-Aid after a while.
Yeah, I was even reading something that say Q and QAnon, like the QAnon group, profited off stuff, and it's like,
oh yeah.
Like it wouldn't surprise me if like there's been a ton of people going, yeah, I'm Q, give me money, and they're like, yeah, you'll save us from the pedophiles, and just like threw money at a random guy.
It reminds me of a little bit of Anonymous, how it happened with them. You know, like anybody can claim it, and with their own actions, and you can't disprove it because they don't know who behind it, really, you know.
Well, that's because Anonymous is Anonymous prides it. Yeah. Well, Anonymous prides itself
but like Anonymous
cellular.
did good things for the community, whereas Q is just somebody fucking with people.
And I'll just say,
like I can get down with Anonymous. I like Anonymous. They've exposed a lot of cool shit. But Q is just like fucking with people and causing problems. It's like just an ultimate troll.
It's an ultimate troll, which I think it's geared. I mean, everybody yells about Antifa, which means anti-fascism, and also in the same respect, as far as very much like Anonymous is like, there's no central head. It's just people go, well, yeah, I'm anonymous, so I'm gonna do shit, and anybody asks me, nope, I'm anonymous. Same goes, I'm into anti-fascist, so I'm Antifa. There's not like it's a directional thing. But
there is no Antifa organization, no matter how much the Republicans want to say there is. And it was made up by Republicans because everyone was calling Trump a fascist, and they just made up the word Antifa and made it sound like an organization that was against Trump. So it scared people. So Antifa bad, even though like we've hated every other fucking fascist president. Why not this one?
Well, it all became it's all part of a thing, like creating distress through conspiracy stuff like that. Like the United States,
Trump's like the people who lead Trump are very smart. They know exactly what they're doing.
That's the people who are directing Q or might be Q. But no, the fact is, like, what you do is you have a new age as far as what is upon us in any way. So things are changing quicker than what people are used to because of technology. Two is like since World War II, we've always had a ramped up almost American pride / nationalism about the U.S. And so it's easy to kind of foster that. Which nationalism, can stem into fascism very, very easily. So you got disaffected people who are make America great again, because the times are changing too quickly for people that they can't fathom it and they're not willing to adapt.
Make America great again scares me a little more than anything Antifa does.
Oh, it's because I don't know what they mean by great. For one.
Well, according to Hillary, America is great because America is good.
Oh,
You ever
okay.
seen that quote? I love that quote from her. She's like, America is great because America is good. And
It's
the
already
crowd's
good.
like, yay.
Yeah, everybody-
What?
Chris Broken's in the chat. So he just goes QAnon Patreon. Funnily enough, there's actually a Christian. There's a weird Christian right fundraising thing called something Cash Pray or something or other that's been raising money that you can give money to, and a lot of people who stormed the Capitol have been throwing their stuff asking for funds there because fucking GoFundMe goes go fuck yourself because we're not going to support anybody who's trying to cause insurrections. And so people are going on there, like the dude, what's his name, the dude that runs the Proud Boys. I mean, they raised like over like 200 grand there for his legal defense. And then all the random people like who were asking for like $500 here to travel to the Capitol to take it back for patriots, and that's the idea. It's the idea of like feeding on people's patriotism. All leads into all this because patriotism and then as much as we try to not be, the United States was founded on having no creed, i.e., no state religion. A lot of people think Christianity is, and so they try to foster that in as well, especially in this age of enlightenment where we're talking about other stuff and being inclusive. If I'm being inclusive, why do I have to be inclusive to gay people when my God says to hate all gay people?
Yeah, I don't know where God said that, but either way, I just want you guys to know we're about halfway through the show, and I'm going to expose myself. I'm QAnon as well.
You're the Q.
I'm the other
clown.
shaman. Jake and Jelly actually went down for me. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, no, Joe found that at a thrift store like a couple of weeks ago, washed it, was really excited. It actually, yeah, it's been a couple of months, but really excited about it. You know, just thought it was silly, something fun to wear. And then all of a sudden this shit happened. And they're like, I can't wear this ever again. Like, but like, also, I'm also wondering, like, come Halloween this year, how many fucking QAnon shaman costumes are there going to be?
All right, so
yeah.
I mentioned I work in a costume shop here in Austin, and literally the day after, I worked the day after, and some dude, we actually have, because my like, I always made the joke, it's like the Loyal Order of the Water Buffaloes from the Flintstones is who took over Congress, and we have those hats, and at the shop, and literally we sold 2 hats that next day. 2 of the big fluffy like water buffalo hats that look very much like it, yeah.
God, that's crazy.
Here we go.
I mean, like,
it's coming.
Yeah, no, that was that thing. Like, I keep seeing this other, like, just meme on Facebook and around. It was like, choose your fighter, and it's the QAnon shaman or techno Viking.
I'm on board for techno Viking. So we need more techno Viking. He
right.
So who is this guy though? Like, is he actual?
Oh, the
hooded guy.
Important? Is he significant?
He claims
The
to
guy,
be
yeah,
the
the
QAnon
guy.
shaman. He goes to Q conventions. He also goes as an agitator. There's photos of him at, like, you know, BLM rallies and other, you know, protests and things. And he usually has a sign on his spear that says Q sent me. He's like not shy about it at all. When all this stuff came up that people were like, oh, we just found he's an actor. He's a voice actor and he's been in a couple of movies, and, you know, he wasn't there. He's not a Trump supporter. He's there just to agitate. And he went like, no, fuck y'all. I'm a hardcore Trump supporter. I am QAnon. You're all wrong. You're all stupid. Also, I'm a spiritual healer, and I'll charge you $333 an hour for spiritual advice. He couldn't eat in prison. They scooped him up. I mean, people found out who he was, and he got scooped up for storming the Capitol. And he's like, I haven't eaten in days because they won't adhere to my organic only diet. And apparently they actually had to before, you know, because he claimed it as religious reasons, and they can't deny people certain foods because of their religion. So yeah, he's the real deal. He goes to, like, there's pictures of him, or there's like screen caps.
hundreds
Yeah.
of pictures of him everywhere.
Yeah, and he's like, here's me with Rudy Giuliani. Here's me like at the Q convention taking a picture in front of their banner, and he's like, yo, everyone should come next year. It was a really great convention. It's like, what the fuck goes on at a QAnon convention? That's terrifying.
I've been to different it's probably very similar to the other ones where people just smell bad and then have really, really regretful sex. That's most conventions, regardless of what the subject is. No, it's
well, at least QAnon has been called there people are calling it domestic terrorism, so that's a plus.
The Southern Poverty Law Center, who's like actually a really so they're this really great organization that's out of Georgia, and they were the first group that sued and went against the KKK back in the 50s and 60s and won. And since then, they've been providing legal services for anybody who's been subject to any sort of hate and all that sort of stuff. As far as very, very very, very amazing group, Southern Poverty Law Association, but they also have a list of hate groups and like what type of hate they have, whether it's just generalized hate or white supremacists, etc. Even things like Islam, like black militant, all that sort of stuff. They do not. They're very equal as far as who they say. If they are somebody who's causing terrorism, causing harm to the populace at large, they're going to call you on your shit. And they actually listed QAnon as being a generalized hate group. Same goes to Proud Boys. I got into a fight on Facebook. I got into at first it was a nice, lovely discussion with somebody, because I'll talk to anybody. Even if you're a crazy QAnon supporter, I'll still talk to you as long as you can back your shit up. I'm fine. And you're willing to have a conversation, as long as you're willing to actually have a conversation and not just spew rhetoric at me.
Yeah.
And so,
or do your research. Like, no, you do it for me, and like send me links.
No, it's like, tell me why you think that is, and then I'll show you how that may or may not be true. But anyway, some guy that I've known for years, like, because if anything has taught us this past year is who people really are in this past year. And so he goes, yeah, because I made a comment about, like, this is back when 45, our current president, I don't speak his name because that pisses him off more than anything, is not telling him, not saying who he is. I figured that's the best way. He's a guy who craves attention, so don't give him attention. Not that it matters on. But anyway, I made the point because I go, that he supports racism. So if you support him, ... That's what I left it at. And somebody goes, why do you say that? And I go, well, this came from the phrase, like, his Proud Boys, stand back and be ready, his quote. And I go, well, yeah, because he supports the Proud Boys, and Proud Boys are a hate group, especially geared towards things like white.
No, they're not racist. The guy who started it is Puerto Rican, but also denounces...
That's the current guy who runs it. That's the Enrique Torrio is the current guy who runs Proud Boys, supposedly. But anyway. And so, like,
they can't be racist because they have a Puerto Rican guy. That's it. That's like the whole thing. Like,
yeah. And he goes, well, how do you know that? I go, well, here's a nice article from the Southern Poverty Law Center. And they go, oh, those guys don't know anything. They're saying like the stuff that's happening in Portland is a peaceful protest when it's like horrible, horrible stuff. And I just went, well, no, I have friends that live in Portland and are part of those things, and I can tell you that what violence has occurred is this is how. They go, oh, you know what you're talking about? I go, I disagree, and I have firsthand knowledge. At least I know somebody who knows who's there, and just like, well, just by anything, you have to agree that Trump is changing stuff up. He's draining the swamp. Blah 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 blah. Just went right into rhetoric, and I went unfollow. Just because
I've actually found something good for that. As the hero overall narrative, Trump has the unique ability to influence QAnon believers. On August 19th, at a White House press briefing, he was given the opportunity to debunk the theory once and for all. Instead, he praised QAnon followers as patriots and prepared to affirm the central premise of the belief by saying, quote, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there, and we are, actually. We're saving the world from radical left philosophy that will destroy this country, and when this country is gone, the rest of the world will follow. QAnon believers were jubilant.
Yes, you're feeding into that sense of patriotism, which is really what people are into. So that's why a lot of that stuff. So, and because a lot of the extreme right wingers are very Christian, that feeds into their Christianity as well, especially evangelical Christians, because that's really where you stem the basis of. If you look at the Catholics, not so keen on on QAnon. A lot of the formalized, I think the Methodists not so big on it. But the evangelical Christians, things, like the Joel Osteen group, and whatnot. Those people clamped on board because all they care about is money, and I'm going to say it. So it's all just a big money ploy for all these people while they're profiting. They're profiting off these people's idiocy, and it's easy to feed these people because right now it's easier because we're been trapped inside. And so anybody wants anything and everything. So it's easy to get everybody on. Everybody's on edge because of the pandemic. So it's easy to rile anybody up about it. So weirdly enough, had the pandemic not happened, it'd probably take a few more years before we would have gotten to this crazy. We might have actually had a 45 repeat term.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. I was just reading this. Participating in QAnon is largely made up of research, i.e., learning more about the Byzantine theories or decoding Q drops, and evangelism. Most of the proselytization relies on media manipulation tactics designed to catch users' attention and send them into controlled online media environment where they will become red-pilled through consuming pro-QAnon content.
Which is what I've been saying. They go, "Oh, you feel outraged about child trafficking? Well, come to this site that seems innocuous. Learn more about it."
This is actually about the hashtag Save Our Children.
Yeah, that's what that's literally what that is. It just
QAnon followers have for years used a wide range of online tactics to achieve virality and garner mainstream media coverage, including making documentaries full of misinformation, hijacking trending hashtags with QAnon messaging, showing up at Trump rallies with Q signs, or running for elected office.
Oh yeah, there's several QAnon Congress people right now that just got put into play.
Mm-hmm.
There's a crazy lady from Georgia who is full on QAnon. Also, I've noticed a lot of them are also like super into the Second Amendment, even though they don't really understand what the Second Amendment is, and whatnot. And so, I mean, it falls right, and it just checks all those marks. Now, here's the thing: one is kids. Yes, we want to save kids, but it's all these manipulating tactics to sow disinformation and keep whoever they want in control, because that's what it is. It's a very directed thing, but it's still small scale. I mean, because it's very localized. They can't do anything bigger, although they kind of do in Russia. But then again, supposedly Russia's the one big on it. Like Parler, the quote unquote, basically like QAnon Twitter, or insurrectionist Twitter, the one that went down. Like it got so bad, like it got kicked off of all the apps and app stores, and its website was canceled. Web hosting service was canceled, and so the web service is coming back, and they're being backed by I think it's DDO Guard, which is a group out of Russia.
Fuck. You can't trust the Russians unless they're going to host our racist anti-Semitic website.
Yeah, but the thing is it's that's their main hosting service, but they're using another group out of they have a DC office for this group. There's this one group that it does all the hosting. Epic, it's called Epic. Epic is one that does the main hosting, but they're also the people who do the main hosting for things like 8kun, 4chan, all these really kind of fringe sites. They're the ones who go, well, we don't care what they say. They can put whatever on, blah, 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 blah. Whitey rules. Or whatever. I don't know. I'm assuming the white rules part, but
I mean, going along with that, like the hashtag Save the Children, Save Our Children. It was a good thing initially. But on Facebook, anxiety over children due to the coronavirus pandemic, a resurgent anti-vax movement, and QAnon-fueled scaremongering about child trafficking have all combined to inspire a modern-day moral panic, somewhat akin to the satanic panic of the 1980s. Hundreds of real-life Save Our Children protests have been organized on Facebook in communities across the U.S. and around the world. These small rallies are in turn driving local news coverage by outlets who don't realize that they're publishing news designed to raise awareness about child trafficking. They're encouraging their readers or viewers to head to the internet, which a search for Save Our Children could send them straight down the QAnon rabbit hole.
Yep. So yeah, the people are trying to save you from the elites and stuff like that. Guess what? Guess who it is? Guess who they are? They're the fucking elites that are trying to guide you. No, those people are bad because they're bad. But we're good because we say so. Anyway. You got any of that adrenochrome?
There's always that like real that big mind fuck at the end of everything. You know, you think something is on your side or that you are supporting something, but there's always like a dark side or some shit, like a mind fuck, like every time. Like, no, man, that's kind of the vibe I was getting when I was researching into QAnon, and was like, okay, there's all these perks and blah blah blah, but I was like, you know, I immediately go there first. Like, what is the sinister reason? You know, what's going on here? What's the core of it, I guess. So, and it's hard to tell, you know, there's so many perspectives on QAnon. And it's like, which one is going to win, basically?
It's all about seeing these different legs of the spider, as it were, the Hydra or anything like that. You got to look back and see where the main body is and what's going on. And like QAnon, unfortunately, is just one head or one leg of a bigger machine. It's the propaganda. It's there to it's there to fuck with people, to rile the masses up so that way they're ready to be angry and stuff like that and let weird shit happen. Like, I don't know, like storm a Capitol. And then things like it's discounting people who speak against whatever their main movement is as well. So that's why you have people who are who a year ago, 2 years ago, are like the epitome of everything, and then suddenly they're bad because they talk shit about your guy.
Yeah, actually, this is a New York Times article from January of last year. And it says, QAnon has also seeped into the offline world, with some believers charged with violent crimes, including the QAnon follower accused of murdering a mafia boss in New York last year, and another who was arrested in April and accused of threatening to kill Joseph R. Biden Jr., the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. See, that's how old it is. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has warned that QAnon poses a potential domestic terror threat. And that was like January of last year.
There was a dude.
Wait, was it last year? Let me double check. Make sure it's not this year. Yeah, no, actually, no. This is from this year. Yeah, 2021.
Well, they did, but they mentioned. Oh no, there was a dude like in Arizona or something like that who kept saying like it was like the local concrete factory was actually a place where they were housing kids to expose out, and he would kept calling the cops about it, and the cops go, "You're fucking nuts." I mean, the cops went out a few times, saw nothing, and the guy started to storm the concrete factory to try to find and save these kids, trying to be his own Rambo. Finds nothing. Then he holds up in some tower right there and holds off police for like 2 days who are trying to take him in because he, broke the law. It's just
Yeah.
So it's like, but he based it off of like the QAnon conspiracy stuff. So
I just like the way this is worded. QAnon is the umbrella term for a sprawling set of internet conspiracy theories that allege falsely that the world is run by a cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles who are plotting against Mr. Trump while operating a global child sex trafficking ring.
It's
Trump. I just like that it says Mr. Trump now. That's
yeah.
That's nice to hear, Mr. Trump.
Well, yeah, he's about to go. the funny thing is, like, the whole satanic panic thing. They were talking about this back in the like, they're saying that the Democrats are responsible for this big, huge satanic like child ring. Back in the 70s, there were rumors going around that there was a cabal of satanic worshiping government officials who were taking kids. Except at that time, it was Republicans.
Oh my God. Yeah. According to QAnon lore, Mr. Trump was recruited by top military generals to run for president in 2016 in order to break up this criminal conspiracy, end its control over politics and the media, and bring its members to justice.
Here's another. I just read a thing like QAnon starting to turn on Trump because people are actually starting to pay attention to shit that happened before 2016, and then so like things like, I don't know, all the pictures with Trump with, like, say, the Clintons. Like, he's like, a lot
there's
of
so
pictures
much
with
about
the
the Clintons.
he hung out with like, Trump's a fucking star fucker. He'll, like, anybody who has power, he's gonna gravitate towards.
Well, I mean,
And
I don't know, man. Anybody who, like, I wouldn't say anybody in power, but anybody who, like, speaks out virulently, pro-Trump, he's going to, cling to. Like, why was he so big about the fucking? Why did the My Pillow guy get so much attention?
I was gonna say, I'm talking like the pre-presidential run Trump.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, like, before he decided to run for Trump. There's the article of him saying that if he wanted to run for president, he'd want to be he'd be running as a Republican because he knew he could win.
Yeah, he was like, Republicans
Democrat.
are dumb.
Yeah, well, he'd been a Democrat forever.
No, that's what he said. That was his quote. He was like, Republicans are stupid. I'd run as a Republican because they're the most malleable type of people.
Yeah. So,
and just to be clear, I'm not Democrat, Republican, whatever. I'm a big fuck the government guy, and I'm pretty much Kang and Kodos. Pull the masks off. They're both the fucking aliens.
I'm pro people, so as long as it's helping promote us as a human race to be bigger, that's what whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
Also, the fact is, like, Trump has tons of fucking pictures of him and Epstein, and everybody kept like, dude, Epstein didn't kill himself, Hillary didn't. I go, it's fucking, like, if anybody did, who had the easier access? Fucking Trump.
They were like,
yeah, but they're saying Hillary because, like, just the fucking Republicans want to, like, just keep bringing up Hillary, talking shit about Hillary.
Because it's the villain. It's the idea. It's like the villain. Once the Hillary became a non-word, then it became, all right, cool. We'll talk Antifa.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
I've literally seen somebody say president means man, and that's why Hillary couldn't be president, because president means man. It's like, where are you getting this information?
I thought it meant puppet.
Pretty much, yeah. See, P, president, P, puppet, QAnon. Q is also a letter in the internet, in the alphabet, just like P.
I always said the president was more like the mascot for 4 years of the United States. So whoever our mascot is, that's what it's going to look like. And so,
that's the president's just a figurehead. There's all kinds of people behind him.
Well, yeah, that's why we have things like Congress and the Supreme Court.
Yeah, president has no actual power. He's just the one who talks to the people.
Yeah, it's the idea.
He's the lobbyist. He's a fucking lobbyist.
Yeah. I don't know. Don't trust anyone over 30, guys.
Well, I was saying, like, with the QAnon is like, they say they're, I guess they're what are the Republicans, like you were saying, like they follow Trump. Is this real?
So QAnon is very much, according to the research, the actual research I did. I can post what I found so far. I found an aggregate of some people like went like deep diving to figure this shit out, and even then they're still completely compiling. Because the problem is that there's so many false narratives out there that have been constructed to try to hide and obscure stuff. So you got to basically go, oh, well, this is what they say, although we already know that this person's unreliable, that sort of thing. Or we know this is unreliable, but this is the only information we have from this unreliable narrative. And so, but then what is the for? So QAnon. So the understanding from doing the research I did, so the whole idea for the QAnon movement specifically Several of the soon to be former president's handlers, the people behind him, like the Steve Bannons and Manaforts and whatnot, they actually put together a group, and they found companies that kind of create this help do a false narrative, and using things like Cambridge Analytica, who were busted a couple of years ago for going through everybody's data and shit like that. So it's really easy to figure out what people are into because they were compiling it all. So that's why that's half the reason targeted ads exist is because of Cambridge Analytica. Then you get things like they ran into a gaming organization that does what they call alternate reality gaming, which basically is they combine both the internet and real life locations to kind of create a gaming experience. Now, what happens if you turn that gaming experience, which is interactive, and you use it for, as opposed to enjoyment, but to do things like recruiting, things like that. All of this is stemmed for is to get people all into it's the idea is creating people to be all on the same page, go into lockstep, as it were, to be behind the banner they wanted to create, this narrative, which is about what they call the storm, that's meant there to help cleanse the storm, which is part of their narrative, that's there to cleanse the United States of all bad elements. What's the easiest bad element we can talk about is things like socialism and communism, because we've been talking about that red herring, no pun intended, since the 50s. So
yeah. Do you know where the term "the storm" came from?
Oh, that's a little Reichstag thing. So
no. The storm for Trump. Why QAnon uses the storm. It's a reference to a cryptic remark Mr. Trump made during an October 2017 photo op. Posing alongside military generals, Mr. Trump said, "You guys know what this represents? Maybe it's the calm before the storm." QAnon believers pointed to this moment as proof that Mr. Trump was sending coded messages about his plans to break up the global cabal with the help of the military.
So no. Well, no, there's so many things I kept saying, like, okay, so wait till next summer, something's gonna happen, and nothing happens. It's like fucking like Nostradamus now. Going, oh, Nostradamus said this vague shit, so it's gonna happen. And the Mayans said in 2012.
Yeah. I saw a meme recently, and it was like the guy who was carving the Mayan calendar, and as a joke put 2021 instead of 2012. And it's just like this dude laughing while carving something.
Dyslexic.
I've seen one where he was like dyslexic.
Yeah, I saw the dyslexic.
He did it.
I know. So yeah, it's in the end what it is that the QAnon and in fact, if they want to say that we're saying they're bullshit and they want to call us out, I'm happy to be called a villain for the QAnon if it gets us views. I'm self-serving in that respect.
You already saw my spirit hood. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what I was
if you
gonna
get me views, I'm fine with it. I'm gonna make fun of you still. But no, it's just crazy.
It's psychological. It's like a psychological warfare or something. It's like what I'm getting from your details.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine who is in the Army. I had a friend of mine in the Army who was in PsyOps. He goes, yeah, this is all classic psychological warfare. Classic. This is the shit that, this is like next level, but you can just, it's the same blueprint. They just go, this is how we would do it when we go overseas to fuck with countries, is we would do very kind of, there would be a lot of these elements we would be doing overseas to cause against our enemies.
Okay, I found a Q drop. Just an example of a Q drop. How it was. This is like just quoted from, like taken from 4chan or 8chan or wherever it was on. But this one's from September 2018. In caps, panic in DC. Brackets, LL in brackets. Talking equals truth. Reveal tarmac in brackets. BC ? LL in brackets. Talking equals truth. Reveal Comey HRC email case ? LL in brackets. Talking equals truth. Reveal Hussein instructions HRC email case, ? LL in brackets, talking equals truth, reveal Brennan, no code name Cord, to frame POTUS, ? FISA equals start. FISA brings down the house. When do birds sing? Q.
It's the idea is it basically is all designed to help the people
Yeah.
ask
And just
questions.
so y'all see what it kind of looks like,
Oh, no,
when
it
I
looks
was saying
crazy.
everything. Like that's how it's like all their stuff is typed out.
Yeah.
That's a
It's meant
Q
to be
drop.
cryptic. It's meant to be cryptic, and it's meant to make you ask questions because that's the idea. But the problem is
It reminds me of that lost language, or not? It's not lost. Thieves' Camp.
Like
right?
fucking
That
like
was amazing.
1984 kind of like speech. Like
Looks like the Masonic.
like super plus good and spell think and think speak and all that.
Yeah, well, it's also designed there so that way, basically, so what it is, it's asking you to ask questions, and what's going to be weird is the fact is like if you figure out what the question is, it's going to send you to just the right website to help perpetuate whatever that is, because they've already built the websites and shit like that. Because it's, I mean, if you own a company that can build websites and stuff like that, it's easy to throw websites up of all story like that. Like hashtag Save the Children. Or the 6 or 7 pro-life organizations that received funding from PPE for the protection and stuff like that for payroll protection.
I've always
That's another thing.
That shit. I've always that hashtag in general. I've always suspected it. I never really used it, and I was always thinking, man, what's going on here? What?
Yeah, I mean, because it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I mean, it was already a thing, but it just came out of nowhere with everybody throwing it in your face. And it was like, guys, you realize this is like it's causing a problem now. It used to be a good thing, but it's causing a problem. And it sucks that they took something as good as like anti-pedophilia and turned it into a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Because now you have to double check and triple check any of these organizations to make sure they're actually legit.
I just found this on the New York Times ad. Why are some people attracted to the QAnon movement? A common misconception is that QAnon is purely political movement, but it functions for people who believe in it as both a social community and a source of entertainment. Some people have compared QAnon to a massive multiplayer online game because of the way it invites participants to co-create a kind of shared reality filled with recurring characters, shifting storylines, and intricate puzzle-solving quests. QAnon has also been compared to a church in that it provides followers with a social support structure as well as an organizing narrative for their everyday lives. Adrian Hahn, a game designer who has written about QAnon's similarity to alternative reality games, says that believers, quote, open a fascinating fantasy world of secret worlds and cabals and Hillary Clinton controlling things, and it offers convenient explanations for things that feel inexplicable or wrong about the world.
Well, yeah. In today's age, because like in today's age, I've been noticing for a while now is a lot of these is because humanity as a whole likes to be is very tribal in nature, but the lines are
with us or against us.
Well, yeah, no, it's just more like we want the who's like me, I mean, like. But the line, like, the fact is, that's really great in a small environment where it's easy to do stuff. But when you like break out into being a global world, tribal to maintain a tribal thing and normal stuff, it gets very very muddled at the local level, and so people feel lost, and so they're trying to find something to feel better. I mean, some people get by just being very tribal with their local sports team. Other people try to connect with their church, even though secularism has been far more and more on the rise because whether it's from like the Catholic Church and their children issue, or just a disaffected youth with people trying to clamor towards a locked in ideologies that no longer apply to the modern world. So yeah, people are clamoring to find their tribe again, and the internet allows you to do that, better or worse.
Yeah, right here. QAnon is deeply participatory in a way that few other popular conspiracy theories have been. Followers congregate online to decode the latest Q posts, discuss their theories about the news of the day, and bond with their fellow believers. The Atlantic has called it the birth of a new religion. There's also the basic danger of what QAnon followers actually believe. It's one thing to have a polarized political discourse with heated disagreements. It's another to have a faction of Americans who think with complete sincerity that the leaders of the opposite party are kidnapping and cannibalizing innocent children. Combine those violent paranoid fantasies with the fact that QAnon followers have been charged with committing serious crimes in Q's name, and it's no wonder people are worried.
No, I equate it as far as it's a burgeoning religion. That's a fair statement. I think really what we're gonna like it really what it comes down to is that
Trumpism is a religion. It's more aggressive than most religions.
It's more aggressive than Scientology.
It's like religion
is aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
All the religions, you basically just got to pick out what you want from each religion, and I would say do the same thing with that.
Yeah, religion's it's a way for to explain, hey, be good, because we know you're not going to be good if there was no religion. So here's a reason to be good, because if you're bad, you're going to get spanked by the devil. So be good, and you go to heaven and eat a hot dog with God.
It's all about sky cake. That's like Patton Oswalt tells a big thing about sky cake. He goes, the reason he always said the reason religion exists is because way back ancient times is might makes right. So the strong people would go around, pillage, rape, stuff like that, and the weak guys had to figure out a way to make their shit work. They're not strong, but they can talk fast, and so go, hey, wait, they can be able to be beat up. Go, hey, don't beat me up. If we don't, you won't get sky cake. Sky cake? What's that? I go, well, if you're a good person, when you die, you get cake in the sky. It's the best cake you've ever had. You can have as much as you want. And he goes, really? So I just have to be good and I get sky cake? Yes. I guess I won't beat you up. And it worked well for a while until somebody else figured out, except for there, it was like sky baklava or sky da-da-da. No, then it became a war about sky cake. And I went, yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
You can just be
it's
good.
To be fair, if somebody gave me that argument, I'd be like, well, fuck, I'll take baklava over cake any day, but I need to know I need to know the theory behind your baklava.
Well, that's how it started. But the fact is, you would stop fighting for at least long enough to ask, and then the guy goes, it's about oh, you got red shoes. It's about wearing red shoes.
Next time I'm about to get into a fight, this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna be like, hey, sky cake, motherfucker! He's like sky cake, I'm gonna punch him in the throat.
Yeah, no. The fact is, that whole idea that just because you don't follow a religion or something like that, you can't be good, which is also a very false narrative. I'm an atheist. I believe in humanity in the respect that we can be good. We try to promote and help our stuff out. That's how it works. So. And I think as long as we leave it that way, where you're trying to actually physically try to help people and try to understand and pay attention and listen to your other side stuff, which is really I try for so long with these people. As long as both sides are willing to listen to the other side, many things can be accomplished. It's when some people stop listening to the other people, like most of these QAnon fathers, they stop listening to the other side. They've made up their minds. You open your mouth and you're spewing lies or just static. And then they go, well, they go, hey, do the research. I go, sure. Where do I need to look? Because that's usually the first thing I go, all right, sure. Where do I need to look? I go, because according to my research, I have this stuff. Well, that stuff doesn't come from real things. This is reputable news sites. I mean, Pulitzer Prize winning, all this shit just...
Or my book's older than yours. It's well, my book says this, my book says that. It was actually, your book was derived from this way older book. And be like, hey, no, fuck you.
Yeah. Let's scale this back. I go, it's the idea. I go, oh yeah, satanic. I go, yeah, satanic panic. It happened really big in the 70s, and it happened. You targeted this person, this person, this person. You know who those people were? Republicans that got targeted, and just shit like that. And so it's just do do your yes, everybody should do the research. But on the other side, I go, if somebody asks you that, if somebody asks you for research, at least point them in the right direction, and be willing and kind to have the dialogue, talk to everybody. That's the idea. That's if you want me to QAnon. I don't think we have any QAnon people on here or Trumpers, and if they do, cool. I mean, yes, we're making fun of you, but
Yeah,
I'm willing to have the
I don't
conversation.
care what Democratic or Republican, like I don't care what you support, but if you're gonna like take it too far, if you let that become your personality, that's the fucking problem.
No, that's right. I'm willing to have the conversation about it. What's up?
The
What's up,
fucking
Paradox?
violent tribalism.
Yeah, that's what it comes down
Oh,
to.
I was gonna ask you well, first, yeah, the tribalism. Whenever they see something, they gotta. It's like it reminds me of football, kind of.
Yeah.
How people act for sport teams.
Yeah, that's
You know,
exactly.
they get,
It's really no different.
Even
Yeah,
wrestling,
people treat
professional
like
wrestling.
people treat their government officials like celebrities now, and I do not like that.
No, it's yeah.
Wrestling is like a good example because they're all cheering for it, but they know it's scripted. They know, but it's like, you know, they put their heart into it, into their support of it. You know, and like I've heard it been said about that before, that politics is like wrestling, or it's Hollywood basically. It's basically Hollywood for ugly people.
Oh, and you know who is a member of the WWE Hall of Fame, right?
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him.
I mean, yeah, I've seen him. Like, what he got tombstoned by fucking Stone Cold and shit. Like,
no, yeah, and
he was in Home Alone too.
Yeah, and he lied to that child.
This doesn't have to do with that, but like Macaulay Culkin, today he actually is lobbying to get adult Macaulay Culkin to be digitally inserted as instead of Trump in the Home Alone 2.
That would be fucking awesome.
I know that's so yes, everybody contact Hollywood. This should be. I mean, in fact,
contact the pedophiles. Let them know. We'll stop thinking they're pedophiles if they make Macaulay Culkin instead of Trump.
Hey, I was gonna ask y'all, since y'all.
What's up?
Since y'all did like the research or whatever on all this, I was gonna ask y'all, do y'all believe it? Do y'all believe like the pedophile thing with the officials and the higher ups and the cults?
I mean,
and the,
just from other stuff that I've like listened to, like, and read, and you know, all kinds of stuff. Like, if even 2% of it is true, all these people need to be arrested. I mean, because like, you know, of all the things, the similarities, and even the far out shit, like, even if like just a small fraction of it is true, they all need to fucking burn.
Do you think it's like high enough up though to where they can't be arrested?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so here's.
I mean, like, I say yeah, but you know, they got Epstein, but they didn't get him on that.
I mean,
sacrificial
lamb. Well, Capone went to jail for tax evasion, not for racketeering.
Exactly.
So, no, the thing is like, do I think there's some weird concentrated effort by the world's elites to do all this weird crazy shit? No. Are there world crazy elites doing some fucked up dumb shit that really should put them away or like whatever? Oh, of course. I'm not doubting that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, but some of it's the problem is it becomes like I don't want to say where's the line, but the fact is like the people that were being outed or seeing stuff aren't really they aren't either they're just not the people at all. They're being thrown in front of the people who are the issue, or B, it's just, I think most of the quote unquote people who are actually involved with stuff are people you would never see on camera to begin with. They're not your Hollywood types.
Just some millionaire you don't know about, because we only know about like the main millionaires. Just some millionaire you don't know about who's traveling to fucking the Taipan to, you know, fuck amputee
Well, that's the
Asian
thing. It's like
12-year-olds. Like, who knows?
until Epstein got plugged, until he got yanked, nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
And half the people
He was just that
exactly.
dude who hung out with celebrities. He had
like,
money, and he had a party island.
Yeah, and a lot of those people who took pictures with him, they were at Hollywood parties where everybody was at, and everybody took pictures. It's not like those things. Well, he took a picture with so and so. Yeah, that was the fucking Oscar party. Everybody was there.
Yeah.
Everybody took pictures with everybody. That's not a damning evidence. But the thing is, like, those people doing nasty stuff and stuff like that aren't the people that are on the front screen for the most part. I mean, there's some exceptions. I mean, you got your Harvey Weinsteins and shit like that, but that's a whole different movement versus, like, even though there are probably some kids involved in that level, but that wasn't the primary motivation on his part.
Yeah.
Their age was incidental to him. It's just that he wasn't going after them because of their age. But it's that you'll see some more stuff in that level versus, like, you're not going to see. I mean, I would say you wouldn't see your president being part of it, but I figured, unlikely. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it's one of those things. Like, it's one of those things.
We've pretty much kind of
sure.
We've pretty much covered everything we can. But yeah. I realized I hadn't even looked at Wikipedia about QAnon.
Oh, it's big. I looked at it first.
Oh, it's fucking huge. Oh my god! But I just want to read at least these first two paragraphs. I mean, we've kind of gone over most of it. I just love the way it's worded.
So brilliant.
QAnon is a disproven and discredited far-right conspiracy theory alleging that a cabal of Satan-worshiping cannibalistic pedophiles is running a global child sex trafficking ring and plotting against U.S. President Donald Trump, who is fighting the cabal. U.S. prosecutors have called it a quote group of commonly referred to as a cult. QAnon also commonly asserts that Trump is planning a day of reckoning known as the Storm, when thousands of members of the cabal will be arrested. QAnon supporters have accused many liberal Hollywood actors, Democratic politicians, and high-ranking government officials of being members of the cabal. They have also claimed that Trump feigned conspiracy with Russians to enlist Robert Mueller to join him in exposing the sex trafficking ring and preventing a coup d'etat by Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and George Soros. The QAnon conspiracy theories have been amplified by Russian state-backed troll accounts on social media, as well as Russian state-backed traditional media.
Yeah, it's...
So the Russians are just like laughing at people. The Russians are the ones who created QAnon. They're like, fuck these guys. Like, we're gonna fuck with people. Yeah. Well, I mean, they got nothing better to do in Russia, and I don't fucking blame them.
No, that was the first thing I read about QAnon.
Yeah, I mean, that's from the Wikipedia page. I really should have gone here first because holy fuck, it goes and goes and goes. There is so much on this Wikipedia page. I've been scrolling for like 10 seconds now.
Oh, there's a lot of it. I mean, I use that, and plus a friend of mine.
Jesus, like I'm down to the references now, and this is insane. There are how many references in this story? 311 references.
So far, because Wikipedia is a living, breathing document. So.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's just so much. There's pictures. There's so many words on this. All the secret hidden cues and Mike Pence, Michael Flynn, other Trump associates, reaction to online platforms, Q Drops app, removal of related content. Oh my God, there's just so much.
Oh, it's really crazy, and it ends with I think the last thing it talks about is actually the January 6th insurrection.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, probably. I mean, it's Wikipedia. I'm gonna have to read this thing. Like, God, I'm gonna read this and just have like weird fucking fever dream nightmares about QAnon and Trump and pedophiles, and I'm gonna wake up crying.
I found the other article I've been really reading on is like a big journal article. It's like it's another one of those things like people are like really trying to disseminate, getting into behind the scenes, and they're like doing the research too. And so I'll post that on my social media for people who follow. And, I'll put it on. And it's like my social media. I'm not going to throw it on my Jeff with the G stuff. But if you know who my social media, be part of it. If not, we'll make friends. That's fine. You talk, I don't judge. I for the most part, I don't judge as long as you're willing to have a conversation.
Yeah, for
Anyways,
sure.
we've been doing this for like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything we can about it without like
At least
going into every fucking
without
detail.
without going point by point, without like us like actually
Hold
doing
on.
homework beforehand, which we didn't, because that's how we roll. So thank you, Paradox, for being on. I know this, really enough is like when we decided we want to do this, you were the first person we thought of because we know you're really big into this sort of stuff, and so it was also real surprising for both of us. You weren't really familiar with QAnon, which I guess is good.
It's definitely a good thing. I mean, we fucked up. Now you're going to be like spouting QAnon conspiracies all over the place.
I'm just like familiar with some of the details of it, I guess. Not the
you didn't realize all this shit
I guess.
connected. You saw these little pieces and you go,
Yeah.
oh, that's connected to that?
I was like, am I QAnon or not? Yes, I don't know.
Yes, I hate to say, Paradox, that you are cute. Sorry, that's a diagnosis.
No, you're not. Also, check out Master Paradox like on all social media. Like we've
definitely.
both got like cool stuff from him. We've shown it off last time. Got paintings, got sculptures, got all kinds of artwork. Check out his stuff. Super cool.
Yeah, I've got his Instagram handle right there underneath him, so that way make sure you follow him. Look at all his cool artwork. It's amazing. I really love his stuff. I don't know, if you throw some nice fun scratch at him, he'll make you something cool and groovy. So
yeah, he's done a lot of cool like Scabs the Clown stuff. So if you want like custom too.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So anyways, we're about out of time, stuff like that. So Scabs, you got anything to plug?
No, I mean I got stupid live stream for stupid people next Saturday. Pretty much don't really have anything else going on.
Okay, cool. Paradox, you got
kind of in the works.
If
y'all see me on Facebook and everything, I'm under my regular name. I just posted that picture that it's mixed media, so I painted, colored, draw everything. So yeah, I've got a lot of people hitting me up about merch for that. So
I'm
thinking,
love that pic. Yeah, that's good.
And
yeah,
I'm definitely gonna do a banner for myself at least.
No, yeah, definitely that. Paradox, you got anything to plug other than your art?
I want
to. What's up?
I mean, that's all I really do is my art, man. I mean, my shop's called you can find me on Facebook, I guess, under the Smoking Mirror, and on Instagram is Master Paradox. And then, I mean, that's my only two things that I'm fucking with right now.
Oh, good. Yeah, definitely pick it up. It's really worthwhile grabbing that. For myself, this Wednesday on Inauguration Day, assuming that the internet still works, because idiots, I will be doing the Devil's Hour right here in Cabin Fever live stream at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've got some fun stuff. Let's see, I've got so I've got a really good band out of here at Austin. It's really cool, like kind of punk-like band called the Dead Coats, which are really awesome. Hexley of Madhouse Marvels. I've got something really fun and interesting and not typical showcasing for her. And then last but not least, I've got Alex Moss. And Alex Moss is the lead, he's got his own like a kind of psychedelic folk album that came out, but he's also the lead singer of the Black Angels, which are this amazing group also out of here in Austin. And then on Saturday, two things. One is Something Strange. Sideshow Festival is happening in Canada. They're doing virtual. Go to my social medias or go to track all that stuff down because it's really cool. A lot of amazing people. And then at 9:00, after Scabs gets done here on Cabin Fever live stream, is another edition of Give a Hoot. With let's see, we've got the Monsters of Schlock.
Tinderbox is going to be on it.
Yeah, that's right. So we got the Monsters of Schlock, Tinderbox, Chris McDaniel. Who else? The Amazing Boobzilla.
Man, Chris McDaniel opened up a whole side of me, and I'm like, man, I want to be a cowboy now.
I know. I tried to get him like early on, but he was just a little too pricey for me when it came to doing live shows. And he's also, but like I thought about bringing him on to doing the G spot or something like that. I read an article thing like he doesn't like doing like that sort of talking. He doesn't want to do more than like 15 minutes. I go, well, my show's an hour, so that's how I'm out with Chris McDaniel. But now it's gonna be and plus some other really made like Jenna Stone, Lorraine, The Thrill, Sage Sovereign, and other fun stuff that's on Give a Hoot. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll be at 9:00 right after Scouts' show. Whoever his guest is gonna be.
I don't know yet. I had somebody who's kind of flip flopping, so I got to find somebody else. But I'll get somebody good. It'll be fun.
No, that's fine. But otherwise, we'll see you guys again next week at 7:30 Central Time, right here in Cabin Fever live stream, where we're going to be talking about ghosts. So if you have any stories that you want to convey with us, we can either bring you on the show or we can tell your story here on the thing. Talk about your ghost stories because it'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, everybody be cool, be safe, be groovy, and as always, keep drinking.
I left my beer inside, so I'll just pretend.
That's fair. All right, see you guys.